Solve triangle ABC if side A equals 30, side B equals 40, and angle A equals 20 degrees. All right, so let's just draw this out, right, and see based on the given information what type of triangle we have. Okay, so side A is 30, side B here is 40. We'll call this side C. And angle A we know is 20 degrees. So this is what's known as an SSA triangle, right? It's SSA. We have two sides and a non-included angle. So we want to use the law of sines for this guy, right? So the sine of 20 degrees divided by its opposite side is going to equal the sine of B divided by its opposite side, which is equal to the sine of C divided by its opposite side. All right, so just taking a look at this here, we want to just set up our proportion and we want to cross multiply these in order to solve, right? So let's go ahead. 30 times the sine of B is equal to 40 times the sine of 20. And notice we're solving for the angle here, right? We are solving for the sine of B, so we get 40 times the sine of 20 all over 30. Now, when we do this calculation, right, 40 times the sine of 20, divide that by 30, we get sine of B equal to 0.456 and some change after that. So it turns out that B is going to be the sine inverse, right, of whatever that number is, right, 0.45. Remember, don't round this number, okay? You should be able to keep it in your calculators and just hit sine inverse of that. Okay, now, your calculator is going to tell you, oh, B is 27.1 degrees. Okay, but remember, whenever we're finding the inverse sine, there's always two possibilities, okay? The possibility is 27.1, and the other one is 180 minus that, okay? The reason is, okay, because in quadrants 1 and 2, the sine of B is positive, right? So it's possible that B can also equal 180 minus 27.1, which is 152.9 degrees. So let's take a look. Okay, if B is 27.1, then yeah, I should be able to find angle C based on that, right? But wait a minute, there's another possibility, right? Okay, there's another possibility. It's possible that, remember, this is given, right? A is 20, this is 30, this is 40 right here. But wait a minute, it's possible also that B is 152.9 because these don't add up to be bigger than 180. So we can actually find what angle C is in this case. What does that mean? It means we have two possible triangles that work, not just one. Okay, so remember, for SSA triangles, right, you always have to consider the two possible values, okay, for that angle that you pick. Okay, and of course you want to make sure that it works. When I say that it works, you want to make sure that the sum of the angles are not greater than 180. Okay, so just to rehash this, right, we set it up. We found the B is sine inverse of 0.456, but there are two possibilities, and they both work in this case. So if angle B is 27.1 degrees, then angle C in this case is going to be 132.9. Or in this case, if angle B is 152.9, right, angle C here would be 7.1. And then we can just use the law of sines again, right, to calculate side C. And notice we got to do this twice, right, because of the two different possibilities. Let's do this, right? The sine of 132.9 divided by its opposite side C, that's going to equal the sine of 20 divided by 30. Of course, we could have used B, right, which is equal to sine of 27.1 over 40, but I already have this information, so we'll just go ahead and use this. So C times the sine of 20 is equal to 30 times the sine of 132.9. So C is going to equal 30 times the sine of 132.9 divided by the sine of 20 degrees. Okay, do not round any intermediate steps. You should be able to just leave this in your calculator, calculate this all in not in one step, right, but step by step here. Don't clear it out each time and round, okay? You should get 64.3 for this guy, right? So in this particular triangle, when B is 27.1 degrees and C is 132.9, we get the length of C here to be 64.3. Now, what about in this case? Well, we just do the same thing, right? Using the law of sines, the sine of 152.9 over 40 is equal to the sine of 20 over 30. Okay. Once again, cross multiply these. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we don't want to do that, right? We want to find side C. So the sine of 7.1 divided by C is equal to the sine of 20 divided by 30. Of course, we already know that setup, right? The sine of 152.9 over 40, right? But sorry about that, right? We want to actually find side C. So we'll cross multiply this. C times the sine of 20 degrees is equal to 30 times the sine of 7.1 degrees. So when we divide that out, we get 30 times the sine of 7.1, all divided by the sine of 20. So similarly, make sure you do this in steps, right? 30 times the sine of 7.1, enter, divided by the sine of 20, and you should get an answer here of 10.8. Right? So in this particular triangle, this is going to be 10.8. Notice, yeah, I didn't draw this to scale, right? 130 point, that's an obtuse angle, right? Okay, I didn't draw this to scale, but notice this is the largest angle, so this should be the largest side. 20 degrees is the smallest angle, so that should be the smallest side, right? Same thing, 152.9, that's the largest angle, so that opposite side should be largest. Here, 7.1 is the smallest angle, so that opposite side should also be the smallest, okay? So in this case, there are actually two possible answers.